So what's going on YouTube? Bright beautiful day, Wednesday, and today I have a very interesting topic. My book club last night went real well. We're reading the book Stop Acting Rich by Thomas Stanley. Very good topic we had last night, and I have a question from you that came up last night. Here's the question: are you acting rich, or are you actually trying to be rich? I'll ask that question again. Are you acting rich, or are you actually trying to be rich? Now let me explain what I'm talking about. First of all, you have to ask your question, what does it mean to act rich? Okay, there are some of us right now who have $30,000 to maybe $70,000 a year jobs. And this is our mindset. If we can afford to make a car payment, right, then we'll go ahead and get the BMW, the Chryslers, the top of the line cars, right? Because all we're trying to do is turn heads, right? Now, a person that is trying to be rich would never make a purchase like that, because that person is smart with money. They know the cars are a bad investment, and they're not going to put their money in that direction. There are some people out there that see people with these materialistic things, right? And they automatically, naturally, because it seems like we've been programmed to think that way, they automatically think that person is successful because they see all these materialistic things. I mean, we have people on YouTube channels who talk about houses they just purchased, and the houses are $250,000 and things like this, whatever, you know, and they look at that as an achievement. No, it's not an achievement until that $250,000 home is paid off. If it's not paid off, that means you just $250,000 in debt. Actually, you're more in debt, because if you add the interest on, actually you can double that. That's really what you're looking at. For far too long, we have looked at materialistic things as being the judge for what people have accomplished. I know people, when I used to live in apartment complexes in different places, I know people that they have so much junk, they have so many things, they can't afford to actually put it into their home. They actually have to get maybe 1 to 2 storage units just to house those things. Because I don't know where it came from, but people think that things actually measure their success. No. So in the book, it talks about, you know, it goes over the subject of who the real millionaires are, you know, what they purchase and things like this. It talks about the real millionaires. A lot of them you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't know them if you saw them on the street, because they have nothing to prove to no one. Think about that. If all of us could accomplish this, we will already be on our way to being successful. If we could actually not worry about what other people thought of us, we could be so much far ahead. I mean, think about that. Ask yourself this question. How many of you out there right now pretty much base your whole life on what people think of you? Your closet, the car you drive, the house you're in. You bought these houses because you wanted to see what reaction would you get from your friends. You wanted your friends, your family, to think that you were successful. There are some people in a house right now that are slaves to their home. They have to work 2 to 3 jobs, barely see their wife, and barely see each other just to live in that home. Is that the life you want to live? I mean, think about it. For all of you who go out and drive these cars and have these things that you can't afford, when you look in the mirror and you go home, what do you think? What do you actually think of yourself? You know? I was talking to one of the people in the book club last night, Morning Dream Girl, and it was so funny because, and I was like, wow, this is frugal. Her and her husband have a budget of $40 a month. And do you know, she says there's been months she haven't touched that $40, to the point she was walking around with $300 to $400. She said she had to go to Old Navy, right, in order to make herself, and she went into the clearance rack then, and she took the tags off so she couldn't return it, just to say, let me buy myself something. And to some of you guys, that's like, come on. money was meant to be spent. That's not a life. Yes, it is a life. Because here's the thing. You're saying that because you think that money should just have you should just go out and just buy things. No. Things are not going to make you happy. Clothes are not going to make you happy. I mean, think about it. When you go, it's the same, the car. You never go out and buy a new car because the value goes down. Bad investment. Last night we talked about too that a lot of real millionaires don't own boats. They don't own boats, and they don't own second homes. There are some of you right now with a second home and haven't even paid off your first home mortgage. I'm like, here you are, you're not even settled and not even made it. You're still paying interest on your first home, and here you are with a second home, trying to look successful. But see, here's where the problem goes. Here's the problem lies right here. While you spending money on all these things, while you spending money trying to keep up and let people think that you're successful, you're actually losing. Because here's the funny part. When you see NBA stars and movie stars, right, and they're doing the movies, a lot of us imitate that life. We're like, we want a life like that of cars and glamour and glitz. Look at Tom Cruise right now. Tom Cruise is almost heading out the door when it comes to movies right now. He's becoming unpopular. There's a window when it comes to people making money with doctors, lawyers, NBA players. But here's the thing. Let's say they build up an expensive lifestyle, and now they're not popular anymore, and they're moving. They're not popular anymore. They're not making the money that they used to have, but they still have the expensive lifestyle. They're out of luck now. They have a big problem on their hands. And the problem is they can't continue to maintain that lifestyle. That's why you have NBA stars that go broke. That's why you have actors that go broke. Nicolas Cage. That's why you have these things. Because guys, if you want to imitate rich people, right? This is what you need to imitate. You need to imitate the person that's in the back that you wouldn't imagine to be rich. You want to live in middle class neighborhoods where you don't have to compete against cars and all this other stuff. I mean, it shows how ignorant people are when they go out and they flash. And there's people on YouTube like this too. They go out and flash. I live in a home. I'm so close to the water. I have this. I have that. You're a dummy. That's what you are. Those things don't mean anything. If you have a paid for home, if you have a paid for vehicle, that's wealth. Wake up, people. This is the problem with America now. We go out and we get too much home that we can't afford. We put zero down, but we're successful. What sense does that make? So I want to just leave this statement with you guys. Are you acting rich, or are you actually trying to become rich? You answer that question.